look at what's been happening with the market's reaction to those tariffs that were announced yesterday afternoon after the market closed. Right now, you see the Dow futures are off by about 1,100 points. So let's look at these on a percentage basis too. The Nasdaq right now down by more than 700 points. The S&P futures are down by about 186. That's a decline for the S&P of 3.25%. The Dow off by close to 2.6%, and the Nasdaq down by 3.6%. These market sell-offs, at least at this moment in the early hours before we get to the opening bell, are bigger percentage drops than you're seeing around the globe. So there are a lot of concerns about what this will mean for the global economy. But right now, it seems to be hitting hardest right here in the United States. 10-year yield also trading near its lowest level since October 17th of last year. In fact, 4.04% was the lowest since October 17th. We're at the lowest level since before Election Day. This is seen as a flight to safety at this point. The 10 years at 4.05, the 2-year at 3.77. So many questions about what this is going to mean on an individual company by company basis, what it's going to mean on a country by country basis. If you check out what's happening in Europe this morning, you'll see that right now with markets that are open, the CAC is the worst performer. It's down by about 2.4%. The DAX in Germany off by now 1.9%. So that's been picking up some steam. Earlier, they were down by about 1.2, 1.3%.
And worth noting, by the way, Germany's finance minister already out this morning effectively saying that they should retaliate against Trump.
Yeah.
They believe that he will buckle under the pressure. Interestingly,
there's some back and forth.
Once you start with that
where,
language,
yeah,
that's I think where a lot of this is
going to come
from.
Do we get retaliation, or do we get conciliatory tones where they say, okay, we're going to take some down?
Well, already you're getting the retaliation
language when they announce it, but that's certainly possible. These will be challenging days ahead. I think we're looking at that. The other thing we don't really know, this is obviously a stock market sell-off can be self-fulfilling in terms of it can hurt the economy. But at this point, we don't, the economy is still the same economy at this point. So it could go south.
I will tell you, no doubt, but chaos that this has thrown into business. If you talk to large businesses, if you talk to small businesses, mid-sized businesses. I mean, I have a friend who works at a company where they import really high-end sweaters. And last night, her concern was she had just moved all the production to Cambodia, and was really seeing a lot of the benefits that they were getting because they made their way out of China. There's not enough capacity.
I mean, this, by the way, is the same story even with
large volumes.
Small company, big company. Apple, same story. They moved out of China. They moved to Vietnam. They moved to India.
Yeah.
They're going to get slapped with these things too. I will tell you, I talked to a CEO just yesterday, though. This is even a broader issue, which is a major multinational company. It says that what's happening here is actually making it harder to hire people in other places. It's a consumer-facing company. That there are consumers that are not as interested in buying from them. So this is the whole thing changes, like the entire dynamic changes as a result of this idea that America, which you talk about the American dream, part of what we have been selling this American dream is to the rest of the world.
But Andrew, you have been the end result, and I don't know if there's a method to the madness or not. I don't know whether it eventually works because people are split. Hardcore, classical economists have never liked tariffs.
Yeah. History has not liked tariffs. History and economists.
When he was talking yesterday, he talked about prior to your book, 1929, tariffs were working. Then when they got rid of them and tried to bring them back, smooth halt, nothing worked. So that was bad. The Kernan family imports a lot from Vietnam for certain things. That was 46%. Yeah. That's a 46%. So I don't know where the Trump foot is. I don't know. It looks like they're serious. I mean, we should probably point out, and we could, when the S&P is dropping like this on one day, we shouldn't get complacent, but we're now back to 10%.
Right.
So now we're back. So somehow we had bounced to where now all we're doing is matching the worst levels that we saw. Not to say that we couldn't, if it goes down 3 or 4% a day, you could get to 20% in a week.
I think there are still questions about how long-term these tariffs are, if this is negotiation.
And whether...
But the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, was on Bloomberg last night, and he said, look, I would urge other countries not to retaliate. There could be a negotiation that's in the works.
He was urging negotiation.
But he also basically threatening these countries not to do anything where they will raise it from here. Yeah. This is the ceiling otherwise, unless you retaliate back, in which case we will raise even more. But then he also said we need to let these settle in.
Right.
And that suggests that this is not going to be gone in a week. This is not going to be gone.
That is the hope.
necessarily in a month.
That is the hope, that
That's the
it's
hope,
not
and
a
that's-
trade
and that's the
war,
hope built into
but it's
the
that some
market
of these
right now,
countries that, and admittedly, some of them have been bad actors in the past. The hope is that
Right.
they take the tariffs
But
off.
whatever it is, it means that the next several months, at a minimum, are going to be crazy. And it also means that most businesses are going to be frozen from making investment in doing anything.
I will say there's a scramble today for companies that have to come in and figure out immediately. If you're importing a lot of goods, you got to
Right.
figure out immediately what you're doing. So people in the business
But the
community
hit-
are like, wow.
We don't know yet what the hit's going to be to GDP or,
Yeah.
there's already been hits to consumer confidence across the board. But once again, I don't know if it's
You feel like
time.
it's a good idea.
I didn't say it's a good idea. I'm saying you don't know. And I don't think at this point you need to absolutely go running down the street screaming that the world's ending.
Look, in Canada.
We didn't need to do
yeah,
it during COVID
yeah,
because it was 2,200 on the S&P. It came back. We probably don't need to do it. There may be a time. And if you read the journal, this is anathema to everything that
Yeah.
like the Wall Street Journal thinks. How long does he, if it's the biggest sort of change in the global economy since World War II in terms the end of globalization, it's going to be gut wrenching, but we're back to the broccoli. I don't know if the cheesecake ever comes.
Well,
You might be
it's
eating, dog food the rest of your
Journal
life,
pointed
not
out
even
that we
broccoli.
have done very well under this
Globalization.
that we've set up.
Cheap
That
prices.
America has had 25%.
But the UAW guys that were there yesterday don't give a crap about Wall Street. They don't care about wealthy people. I mean, 401ks, but they were, did you see they were all in on this? We closed 60,000 factories over the last 50 years.
And Philip was just
60,000
pointing out,
factories.
in the United States, auto workers make on average $70 an hour. In Mexico, it's $6 an hour. So there's a huge difference. This started with NAFTA and probably.
But USMCA is okay on this.
Well, that's
right?
why this whole thing, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out because USMCA is okay.
Good morning, family. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto. This is episode number 200.
Economists were quick.
Let me go ahead and close that out. This is episode number 262. Please go over to, make sure you go over to the Discord group and to your respective communities and let people know that we are live, direct, and full effect. We are packing out YouTube this morning, and the goal is to also pack out Zoom. So, man, let's go ahead and make sure that we drop the link. Let somebody know. I believe each one teach one, and each one will reach one in these times. Welcome to the call. This is, again, episode number 262. And my name is Vincent Owens. I've been doing this for quite some time now, creating this podcast. I believe that this is the year that we really scale the podcast. I've been having some conversations and a couple of announcements today I'm really excited about. I can officially make the announcement because I have officially signed a contract, and I'm looking forward to letting you all know more about that as we go through this call, but I'll be announcing that later on because there's a lot of stuff to unfold today. There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of doubt in the markets. And I can tell from everybody from my chiropractor, all right, to some of my really close friends here in Atlanta, that people are very afraid right now, and people don't know what's going on. And it feels good to be a person that people want to have these conversations with. It feels good to be a person that people feel comfortable, taking my insights and just, and trying to see what I think about things, right? Especially because I've only been doing this for, especially the podcast. The podcast has only been around for 3 years now. I've been investing for about 7, but the podcast really is what it has really has pushed me into becoming what I'd say a matter expert and a research expert in this space. It really forces me to have to research things, to have my ducks in a row because I am leading so many people. And even though the calls, necessarily the live calls, it is 10 a.m., right? It is tough. I know 10 a.m. is a tough time for a lot of people, right? You're at work, you got other things going on, but this is the best time for me. Because it just works out that way. And so, typically I tell people to go back and watch. If you missed it, go back and watch the recording. It is on YouTube, right? So go back and check out what we've done on YouTube because it's really important, right? This stuff, going I believe that, 2 times a week is really good, but I do have other plans for this channel to make sure that I am unfolding these things daily. All right. So we are, again, I'm upgrading this channel. Got a lot of things that we have in store for coffee and crypto. And I'm just grateful to have you all that have been rocking with us for years still here and still committed to the community, because it does mean a whole lot to me. So this is our 262nd episode. And I believe we've had an episode like this a couple of years ago when the markets were just falling and falling and falling. And some of you all were still around, like Billy and Missouli and LA and my mom and Matt. And, these people have been around for quite some time, Marion. And y'all remember when the markets in TJ Patterson, y'all remember when these markets were like falling and collapsing a couple, like probably in the beginning when we first started this show, and then we saw it go up, and then now we're in the same position again. So what I say is never fear. You got to understand that just because the markets are tanking doesn't mean they're going to stay down there. There's no, like, if you look at history, it says you got to, as an investor, as a business owner, philanthropist, whatever you are, you have to look at the past to be able to predict maybe what's going to happen somewhat in the future. And I'm a firm believer, and I personally stand by that 10 toes down. I personally stand by the fact 10 toes down that you got to look at the past to predict what's going to potentially happen in the future. And if we look in the past, there's not one moment in the past that the stock market, the real estate market, the commodities market, the equities market, no markets, the Forex market, there is no market in the world that went down and stayed there to this day. Every market went down tremendously. There's been plenty of collapses in the market. And then what do we saw? We saw a recovery, right? We see a rebound. We see a recovery. There's no market that has went up exponentially and just kept going besides gold. All right. Gold is setting some records right now, but even gold will eventually have its sell-off moment. There is no market in the world. So I wanted to start off the conversation by saying that there's absolutely no market that does that. So I want to instill that confidence to the people that are tuning in this morning. These are exciting times, and you should be even more excited into what you're going to purchase and what you're going to, maybe invest into, what businesses, maybe you're in a position where you can purchase a business. My goal one day is to be able to purchase a business that is completely down, right? Because I understand that the times that you want to invest into great companies is when they are undervalued and extremely undervalued. And right now we have assets like XRP, HBAR, XLM, XDC, Algorand, Quant. There's so many right now, okay? So many, way too many to name, that are down. Okay. And you can go in there and scoop up some of these assets. If you're a person right now, guys, XRP is at a exceptional. Okay. XRP right now is at an exceptional price point. Okay. And I want to cover that really quick as to, where XRP is to date. Okay. It's a very important time that we are in right now. XRP is at $1.99. We're back under a $2 XRP. And if you're not taking advantage, if you've been buying XRP for a while now, maybe you won't take advantage of $1.99. I think that there's other assets that I could be looking into, because I believe that God blessed me with the amount of XRP I have, even though it's maybe not more than other people, but God blessed me with the amount of XRP I got in the price points. My average price point into XRP is exceptional, right? And so, $1.99 is great. But here's the thing though, if I have other assets that I believe that are undervalued, even more undervalued than XRP, then maybe I'll look into those, right? So again, today's call is our 262nd episode, family. And I just want to say that, all the information that you get here on Coffee and Crypto is for entertainment purposes only. So please do not just go and put your money into things just because you hear about it here, because we are not responsible, all right, for any losses, right? This is a free call. I do this from the kindness of my heart. Every Tuesday, every Thursday, I roll out of my bed, whatever that looks like for me that morning, because I am literally, like, some mornings, I don't want to do the call. Some mornings I'm excited to do the call. But when I get on the call, whether I'm excited or I don't want to do it, somehow I get this level of energy. And that's how I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing in life. That's how I know that this is my calling, right? So I appreciate y'all for allowing me to fulfill my destiny, all right? But again, y'all, do not just go out and invest into these tokens. Make sure you guys have the proper education. Make sure you understand the wallets. Make sure you understand the DEXs. Make sure you understand DeFi. Make sure you understand these things. And if you don't understand them, you guys can make sure that you sign up for our boot camp. Our next boot camp is coming up, and we will announce that at the end with all the other announcements, right? And I will be doing a promo at the end for our next boot camp. So if if you haven't locked into crypto in a while, right? If you're a veteran, but it's been a while and you need some updates on DeFi and things like that, these next boot camps are going to be extremely pivotal because we've added a DeFi course in. And I believe that our DeFi course is going to be extremely amazing because even myself, I'm really diving into DeFi. I'm plugging into every ecosystem's DeFi that I can, that I'm bullish on, and I'm out here staking and lending these tokens. Okay, that's what I'm doing. And you can even borrow tokens. So it's a very special time we're in for cryptocurrency. And I would tell you all, please don't miss this opportunity. We got $113 Solana right now. That is absolutely incredible. Right, $113 Solana right now is honestly a steal deal, right? It's a steal deal. So, I'm just here to show you all what's going on. We got a couple videos to watch today. As I've prepared this stuff for you all yesterday evening, and yeah, here we go. So we know that President Trump has pushed out a global tariff counter, right? They call it reciprocal tariffs. Donald Trump called it Liberation Day. Now, some people think that this is new and Donald Trump is just now coming up with this whole little, tariff thing that's going on, right? But he's been feeling this way and he's been voicing his opinion about this for years. And I want y'all to hear from young Trump, young Donald, younger Donald. Okay, maybe Donald might have been in his 40s. He might have been in his 40s around this time. Maybe, I'm not really sure. I'm not the best with ages, but, just looking at him, he might have been in his late 30s to 40s. You know what I mean? Now, if he was in his 20s looking like this, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure. I don't think he was in his 20s, but I think he was in his late 30s and in early 40s. But I might be wrong. I might be wrong. And excuse me, Donald Trump, if I'm wrong. All right. But I want y'all to hear what he's been talking about for years.
And yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Albert. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke. And yet
he might have been in his 20s. I don't know, y'all. I can't tell you how old Donald Trump was in that video, all right? But y'all heard what he was talking about, okay? That's the most important part. I don't mind my jokes. I got to keep y'all awake. I got to make sure that y'all stay with me here. I got to make sure y'all stay with me here. So Donald Trump has been feeling this way about the tariffs and the fact that he's now the leader of the free world and he can go out here and do these things in his second term is honestly, even though we're hurting as a world, you best to believe even the most wealthiest people is hurting as well, because the most wealthiest people, they own these companies, they own these factories, they own these corporations. And you have to understand that right now, a lot of businesses cannot move the way that they're used to moving, especially businesses that are in the trading world. Now, you got to realize that what Donald Trump is picking at right now as a president, there's a lot of things like trade finance that's being affected and it's being reset right now, trade finance. So when we think about projects like XDC, right, Zenfin Network that helps with trade finance, we know that XDC is going to be a really big solution to everything that's happening right here. Things that we've been calling for years, y'all, is finally, these use cases is finally starting to make a little more sense. They don't have to say XDC. They don't have to say XRP or XLM or HBAR for us to pick up on the lingo, for us to understand it, because we've just been around for quite some time. So I want to play this video right here from Laura Ingraham on Fox News. She did an exceptional breakdown of what's happening right now, and I hope you all enjoy this video.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. Liberating us from decline. That's the focus of tonight's angle. The scene at the White House today was something to behold. You had steel workers, pipe fitters, auto workers, and mechanics, the people who make American industry run. They were gathered in the Rose Garden to watch President Trump announce and sign his executive order that aims to make trade fair again. And we were there to watch it all unfold.
My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day, waiting for a long time. April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day America's destiny was reclaimed, and the day that we began to make America wealthy again.
And President Trump announced reciprocal tariffs on virtually every major exporting country in the world, calculated by adding the foreign nation's tariffs plus the value of any trade barriers that they have in place. Kind of ingenious. And then, in turn, we charge them half of that amount.
This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, in American history. It's our declaration of economic independence. For years, hardworking American citizens were forced to sit on the sidelines as other nations got rich and powerful, much of it at our expense. But now it's our turn to prosper, and in so doing, use trillions and trillions of dollars to reduce our taxes and pay down our national debt.
He also addressed what I call the myth perceptions about tariffs peddled by his critics. Now, how many times have you heard that a tariff is a tax? But of course, that's facile thinking. Even if foreign manufacturers try to pass on some of their price hikes to consumers, you got to consider the broader picture.
Jobs and factories will come roaring back into our country, and you see it happening already. We will supercharge our domestic industrial base. We will pry open foreign markets and break down foreign trade barriers. And ultimately, more production at home will mean stronger competition and lower prices for consumers. This will be indeed the golden age of America.
And I have to give a great shout out to my great friend, Pat Buchanan, who back in, decades ago, but also recently in 2019, put it best. He said a tariff is a tax, but its purpose is not just to raise revenue, but to make a nation economically independent of others and to bring its citizens to rely upon each other rather than on foreign entities. Again, the word independent is really key. Now, when I was a little kid, almost nothing we bought, from toys to TVs, were made outside the United States. I still have my Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. Believe it or not, I'm going to give them to my kids' someday. They were all made in the USA. And even clothes, my class spirit shirt from college, made in the USA. But then globalization meant that we made fewer things, lost millions of jobs, all so we could buy more of everything from electronics to pet products at a lower per piece cost. And if we learn nothing else from the COVID nightmare, it should be that we need to reshore the manufacturing of our critical supply chain. President talked about this today: PPE, antibiotics, other pharmaceuticals, many of them made in China. Now, another myth that Trump is starting, that Trump is like starting a big trade war. Well, the truth is we've been in the midst of a trade war for almost 50 years now.
Facts.
And losing it badly. The trade deficits speak for themselves.
81% of the cars in South Korea are made in South Korea. 94% of the cars in Japan are made in Japan. Toyota sells 1 million foreign-made automobiles into the United States, and General Motors sells almost none. Ford sells very little. None of our companies are allowed to go into other countries. Such horrendous imbalances have devastated our industrial base and put our national security at risk.
You bet it has. A lot of Americans don't even know those facts. It was very educational to listen to the president today. And for all the tough talk on the global scene, key countries are already beginning to see the light.
Let's sit down and discuss this, because it's just going to hurt American jobs.
Do you think it's fair that you have tariffs on a whole number of products?
That's right. And we'd be willing to take those off tomorrow if he took all the tariffs off.
Does President Trump know that you'd be prepared to do that?
He knows, and Secretary Lutnick knows that we're willing to take these tariffs off like in the next minute if he said he's taking their tariffs off.
Okay, we're waiting. Now, the bottom line is any economic hit we collectively take is temporary and should not be seen in isolation.
Thank you.
Apple is going to spend $500 billion. NVIDIA, a hot company, is investing hundreds of billions of dollars. Johnson & Johnson, great company, $55 billion. Eli Lilly, $27 billion. Meta, CMA, CGM, $20 billion. General Motors, GE Aerospace, Honda, Nissan, Hyundai are all putting in billions and billions of dollars.
Now, one of my favorite moments of the day came early on when Trump brought up one of the UAW workers to speak.
I have watched my entire life, I have watched plant after plant after plant in Detroit and in the Metro Detroit area close. There are now plants sitting idle. There are now plants that are underutilized. And Donald Trump's policies are going to bring product back into those underutilized plants. There's going to be new investment. There's going to be new plants built. In 6 months or a year, we're going to begin to see the benefits. I can't wait to see what's happening 3 or 4 years down the road. Thank you, Mr. President.
Now, that was just a beautiful moment. The World Trade Organization was founded in 1995, 30 years ago. We allowed China to join the WTO in 2000. So the free traders, purists, have had their way for most of that time. And we know how it worked out. 5 million manufacturing jobs lost.
I'm going to stop it there. And there's one thing that I'm going to say. In 2001, I was like 9. Took me a while to do that math. I was like 9 years old. All right, maybe 10, but I was like nine years old, going on 10. And there was this big devastating disaster that maybe, some of y'all 2000 babies don't know about, or, if you was born in 01 and beyond, you might have been a little bit, if you was born in 2010 and all these crazy years now, that be just crazy, man. I be asking kids, you 18, what year was you born? I'm like, whoa, hold on. Whoa, right? Like, whoa there, man. All right. So there was a thing called the World Trade Centers. And in 2000, I didn't know this until now, but 2000, China, right? China and probably quite a few other countries joined the World Trade Organization, the WTO. And they took down the World Trade Centers. Now, I believe this was like, there's so much speculation on that, and we're not going to get into that rabbit hole. That's a whole nother rabbit hole that I don't even know much about. I'm not prepared to even dive into it. But I just remember being a kid growing up, and there was so much speculation on why these planes or whatever happened, flew into these buildings. And, but we saw a lot of shifts happen after the World Trade Centers collapsed, right? After we didn't have all that data. Imagine if all of that data that was lost. You know how much stuff was lost in the World Trade Centers that they're not telling us about? You think about all those buildings, 2 buildings, skyscraper buildings, everything collapsed. There was no blockchain ledger back then, right? There was no place to tokenize all that data. We lost so much information that we couldn't even fathom in our minds, we couldn't even fathom in our minds, right? Happy birthday, Mrs. Zuli. I don't know if you saw, but everybody in the group was wishing you a happy birthday on your birthday. So shout out to everybody that wished Miss Zuli a happy birthday. She just celebrated her 70th, right? Her 70th birthday. And something I want to read that Ms. Zuli has dropped in here for us, because people on the YouTube channel won't be able to see this. So I'm gonna tell y'all, Ms. Zuli is one of our elders. You know, she's one of our elders here in the group. She's been with me since I started this thing. She was on episode #1. And she said that the US label, so many looked for it. It was the best. She said, my early years as a child from South America, the USA label spoke quality. The China label spoke unwanted, cheap, broke apart easily. She said Detroit was the best automaking capital. If anybody knows about that, Miss Zuli, Miss Sharon, you know, these are women, Billy, you know, these are people that remember, you know, they are my grandparents' ages. You know what I mean? Like they are my grandparents, you know. So when you know, it's a blessing for us to even have a Miss Zuli, a Miss Sharon, a Billy, you know, and anybody else that's of age, you know. It's a you know, Miss Gloria, you know, it's a blessing to have you all on this call, even interested in this from a 32-year-old. Because y'all done lived 32 years twice. Okay. You've loved y'all have lived 32, y'all have lived my lifetime 2 times and a couple years after. Okay. So just very grateful to have y'all here. Okay. Now let's continue to push forward. So let's look at these reciprocal tariffs. Okay. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit for, you know, the ones that may not be able to see that well. I want to make sure that I always, because we have people who of all, you know, just of all walks of life on here. So I just want to make sure that everybody can see this, okay? So China, the tariffs charged the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. This is from the White House, okay? 67%. Okay, the USA discounted reciprocal tariff is 34%. The European Union hits us with 39%. We're hitting them with 20%. Vietnam, y'all, if y'all haven't seen, how many things are made in Vietnam that comes to America, right? Everything's not from China. Some things, a lot of stuff be from Vietnam, okay? 46% on Vietnam. Taiwan, think about how many things are made in Taiwan, okay? Japan, okay? India, so many of these countries that we trade with. Look at this, Cambodia hits us with a 97% tariff. That ain't right. We hit them back with a 49% tariff, right? You know, I need y'all to realize something. Okay, I need y'all to realize something. Like things, again, I say this every time, things are going to get worse before they can get better. If they don't get worse, that means that they don't have a potential of getting better. Things have to go down. And this is a buying opportunity for us all, right? So we see what's happening with these reciprocal tariffs. And, you know, I just want to make sure that you all are prepared and you are ready for what's to come. Okay. Now, to get off of that stuff with the tariffs, because we spent quite some time talking about the tariffs, but this was the most important. I mean, today's episode is entitled Trump's Tariffs Cause of Global Market Sell-Off. So I wanted to make sure that I took the time to go through that to the best of my abilities. Okay. And I'm sure this won't be the last time we hear on this, speaking on this in this particular call. Okay. But I want to move on to the next thing. We're going to go to the House committee. Okay, we're going to go to the committee, and Brian Steele live at the committee in support of the Stable Act. Okay, I want y'all to hear what he said.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for holding today's markup. I'm proud to support my bill, the Stable Act, which will shape the future of digital asset regulation and protect the integrity of our financial system. The bill establishes a comprehensive framework for the issuance and operation of dollar-denominated payment stablecoins in the United States. We're living in the golden age of digital assets. The rise of blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies has revolutionized our approach to financial systems, payments, investments, and the internet. Stablecoins, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
All right. So we're living in the golden age of digital assets. The rise of blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies have revolutionized our approach to financial systems, payments, investments, and the internet. Now, he said the rise, right? But see, there was once a time when these assets were not on the rise. And I want to show y'all a quick clip from 1992, the year I was born. And if you've been rocking with the show for a while, you remember this clip. I've showed it before. It is a movie that came out in 1992, okay? And I want y'all to see what happened in this movie.
It's not about who's got the most bullets. It's about who controls the information. Everybody want it?
All right, so it's about who controls the information. It's not about who got the most bullets. This was in 1992, y'all. So if y'all understand what's happening right now in 2025, we're not like, yeah, there's war going on, right? But there's even a bigger war happening, which is an information war. Okay, so he said it's not about who owns the most bullets, it's who owns the information. Check this out. The Federal Reserve transfer mode, national headquarters, remote system network input station. They talked about the interbank, on this clip, interbank funds transfer, international telelink access, code LIN XRP-262. So in this same movie clip where they showed this old code being from the Federal Reserve transfer node, they said this is a node, okay, which we know nodes run on what? The blockchain. Oh, okay, cool. And then XRP. So that means that XRP has been around since at least 1992. And then if we go back to In Living Color, which was in 1996, I believe the year was, where and I know y'all remember that clip where they messaged Ripple and he said, I know my Ripple's going down, but it'll be going up again real soon. So he talked about Ripple in the 90s. Then you see XRP in this movie, okay, entitled Sneakers, okay, in 1992. So this has been around, right? It's about who controls the information. Now we fast forward to where we're at today, and then, you know, XRP's taking over the global world. But got a couple more things to show y'all. First thing I'm gonna show you is this clip, excuse me, from Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Cash App. Pay attention.
So let's fast forward to the future, and Bitcoin has failed. How did it fail?
I think it fails through irrelevance. Like it fails to be relevant to people on a daily basis. If it just ends up being store value and nothing more, I don't think it gains relevance at all. Like I think it has to be payments for it to be relevant on the everyday. Otherwise, it's just something you kind of buy and forget and only use in emergency situations or when you want to get liquid again. So I think if it doesn't transition to payments and find that everyday use case, it just gets increasingly irrelevant. And that's failure to me.
So what's failure in Bitcoin? Jack Dorsey said the irrelevance, right? The irrelevance of Bitcoin. People not using it because they can't use it in the day-to-day. Then it becomes irrelevant. Then it just becomes something. So it becoming a store of value is a use case, right? But it's not the ultimate use case. Here goes Eric Trump.
Lawfare. And that's what opened my eyes. I mean, I'm a hard asset guy. My entire life has been building real, hotels, golf courses, real estate buildings, right? Commercial buildings, et cetera. That's what I've done. If there's anybody's eyes who shouldn't have been open to the world of cryptocurrency, it was mine, other than I realized the power that these banks had, and I realized how they were exerting that power, and they were canceling businesses all over our country. It was political. It was forced. They were targeting people that they didn't like. It wasn't fair. And then you realize that there's not a single thing that those banks do that can't be done better, cheaper, more efficiently, faster on blockchain. I mean, why is it that the modern financial system runs, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday? Why is it, Maria, that if you want to go get a loan and you've been banking with a certain bank for 30 years, it would probably take you 100 days to go do it, and you'd be filling out antiquated paper forms? It doesn't make sense, right? And again, that's why I fell in love with crypto. And I truly believe that Bitcoin is one of the greatest stores of value, immediately liquid, an unbelievable hedge against real estate, and something we're really excited about.
Okay, again, Bitcoin is a store of value. They're not pushing, the narrative of Bitcoin being used in payments, which we know it won't be used in payments. Let me go over to my Discord group right quick. I'm gonna take y'all inside my Discord group real quick. Okay, if you have not joined the Discord group, make sure you tap in. You know, it's no pressure if you don't, but I would definitely tell you right now is the time that you might want to tap into our Discord group, because we are dropping project after project after project. But what I want to do real quick, oh yeah, we're active, y'all. We're active in our Discord group. We don't play. But something I want to share with you all real quick is something I dropped in my Discord group a couple of moments ago. Let me see if I can find it. It should be right up in here. Give me 1 second. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to go over to, and you all should be able to see this, but this is Ripple, and this is Ripple documentation. Okay, this is Ripple. This is the Ripple docs page. So docs.ripple.com. This is directly on Ripple's. Now, this is not usually regular people will never find this because they don't really dive into documentation pages of websites. People really stay surface level. And what I'm really excited about our podcast is we dive deeper. We really challenge ourselves. And so this particular section of Ripple's document page, they call this Payments Direct 2.0 docs. Okay, this right here is the Payments Direct UI, which is user interface. Okay, and if you go down here, it says create a batch payment file, and then they talk about bank IDs. Okay, and the following list provides the bank ID, also referred to as a bank name, and any additional bank information you must specify when you add a beneficiary to a batch payment file. Now, on this page, you'll see Australia, China, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, South Korea, Thailand, and Vietnam. Okay, some of the largest countries that hit us with tariffs here in the United States. Okay, now check this out. Ripple is an American-based company, but we do a lot of business outside the United States because of the SEC. And if you haven't noticed right here, y'all, look at this. Australia, China, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, South Korea, Thailand, Vietnam. But there's one powerhouse that is not even mentioned here for bank IDs. Anybody want to take a stab at it? Y'all can drop the country inside the chat real quick. I know y'all be quick with this one. Let me know what country is a major country that we don't see right here on this, that we will not see on this page right now. But I guarantee you it will be added real soon. Anybody want to take a stab at it? China's right here. What are you talking about? China's right here. USA, the biggest country in the world, the United States of America. Thank you. Come on, y'all. Like, come on, y'all. USA, right? I just said it. Ripple is a United States company. Why is there no bank IDs for the United States? Oh, okay. Because it's coming soon. Now, Australia. Check this out, y'all. I'm gonna expand the list. Look at all these banks. These are the bank IDs. These are all the banks. Maybe not all of them, but these are a lot of banks that are inside of Australia. Okay, as you can see, Citibank Australia, Bank of America National Association. So Bank of America Australia, okay, all of these, y'all. Credit unions, everything. JP Morgan Chase Australia, Reserve Bank of Australia. That is the Federal Reserve of Australia, basically, the central bank. Okay. And look at this, y'all. I could just keep going and 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 going. All right, now we in. Now let's go to China. Look at this, y'all. Look at this, y'all. All the banks in China. Every bank you can think of, right? Every bank you can think of in China. Okay. Indonesia. Okay. Every bank you can think of, Indonesia. Okay. Everything is here. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. It just keeps going on and on and on. So I'm not going to go through all of these, right? Look at that. JP Morgan Chase again, y'all. Bank of America again. So JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America are American companies, but they do business in every country, and they already have payment codes in these countries. So y'all don't think they have payment codes in the United States to go live? And then we have RLUSD now. It's getting heavy, y'all. The moment is coming. The moment is unfolding for us right in front of our eyes, okay? And you all are seeing it happen here first. So I want to say congratulations to everybody who's an XRP holder. We are doing the doggone thing, okay? Now, I got some news on HBAR. and then we're going to end it. Now, the first thing is this. This just happened. So I want to go back to a clip or from Anthony Scaramucci. Anybody heard of Anthony Scaramucci before? I'm pretty sure y'all have. But if you haven't, this guy is a huge player in the world of finance and everything, right? So Scaramucci, okay, it's getting real Scaramucci out here. You know what I mean? That's what I'm finna start saying, man. It's getting real Scaramucci out here in these streets. Okay. Now, Anthony Scaramucci, he says that this was from 3/31/2025. Okay, so not too long ago, a couple days ago. He says, it's impressive to hear what Hedera has been building. The heads down builders will win the next era of crypto. Okay, so Anthony Scaramucci actually announced Hedera on his Twitter page. Now let's go over to his most current tweet 2 days ago. He says, I have accepted Elon's offer to join the Doge team, and I am excited to start my 12th official day in Washington. Thanks, Mr. Musk. You look great in the cheese hat. So the day before, right? The day before, somebody made me laugh. He said, hold on. Hey, somebody said, what's your take, my man? Hey, Mark said probably an April Fool's joke, but good awareness for HBAR. That's crazy, right? He said probably an April Fool's joke. Probably not an April Fool's joke, but I don't know. You know, we'll never know. The world may never know. Okay, we're not sitting here, but you know that was kind of funny that he dropped that on April the 1st. Okay, now who is Anthony Scaramucci? Founding and managing partner at Skybridge, and a founder and chairman of SALT. Now, if y'all don't know what SALT is, we've showed SALT so many times here at Coffee and Crypto. And if you don't know, hey, if y'all haven't done so, make sure y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, SALT conference. Okay, a SALT conference. Did they have one in 2025? Let's see if they did. No, I don't see it. So let's go to SALT conference of 2024. I believe they had one. Yep, they surely did. So now this is the SALT conference of 2024, and I'm just gonna type Ripple and see if anything comes up. Let's see if anything comes up for the SALT conference of 2024 with Ripple. Now, even if it doesn't come up, y'all, I don't have time to pull this up and look, but I just want to tell y'all that we have covered it before, and it's guaranteed. We've covered this before, and we've seen Brad Garlinghouse at the SALT conference, right? Now, the SALT conference is one of the largest conferences in the world. What is the SALT conference? It's a global thought leadership forum and networking platform encompassing finance, technology, and geopolitics. And he's the founder and chairman of this, right? He was also the founder and managing partner at Skybridge, which is a global alternative investment firm specializing in multi-strategy, commingled fund of hedge fund products, custom separate account portfolios, and hedge fund advisory solutions, okay, to address the needs of a wide range of market participants ranging from individual accredited investors to large institutions. Okay, he's a JD, a doctor of law from Harvard, okay, law school, and a BA in history at Tufts University. This guy is a huge, he's a huge benefactor, and he plays a huge role in the United States. And to see him talk about HBAR and actually announce it is really bullish news for our world. And my last announcement, but certainly not least, I did not pull this up. Unfortunately, I forgot to, but I want to make sure that I go and bring this up, y'all. Okay. OnlyFans founder Tim Stokely's startup Zoop has partnered with the HBAR Foundation to submit a late-stage bid to acquire TikTok. Well, yep, that's right. That's right. Hedera Hashgraph is in the news right now, y'all. And I can literally go, watch this, Rob, watch this, y'all. Just to prove to y'all, just so y'all know that is real. Give me a second, okay? HBAR and TikTok. Watch this, y'all. I can't make this stuff up. It's all over the news right now, y'all. It's all over the news. Reuters, Reddit, CoinDesk, okay? Just it's all over the news right now. It just has not hit major news networks, but just OnlyFans founder has partnered with HBAR Foundation, okay, to be able to go out here and maybe grab that TikTok. And maybe now we have a decentralized social media, true decentralization in social media, truly paying these content creators like myself what we're worth. This is the major news of today here at Coffee and Crypto Network. I'm gonna unplug my mic and I'm gonna go ahead and drop that. Congratulations to everybody who has been investing into these technologies that we've been calling clearly for years. There are major news announcements that happen every day. Every day. Like it's not a day that goes by there's not a major announcement. Okay. Yes, sir. Let me go ahead and call on John Jackson real quick. But before I do, a couple of announcements. If you want to join our Discord group, it is $100 a month, but I am lowering the price for anybody that's interested in joining today and today only. Okay. You can get in for $50 a month into our Discord group. Okay. I like to do things like this on the show because I like to build our community out. And if I can help y'all save $50, I ultimately would love to. So you can go back to our grandfathered price for today only. If you're interested in joining our Discord group, it's going to be you have to text me at 678-460-6504. Again, that number is 678-460-6504. And and we will be if you text me the word Discord, I will send you over a special link to join in and get grandfathered into our original price. My second announcement is we have our next boot camp coming up. Okay, our next boot camp is coming up, and that next boot camp will be on April the 28th through June the 2nd. We meet every Monday. This is our 6-week boot camp that we do. The regular price right now, if you go on our website, is $19.97. Yes, the price has gone up. It is $19.97. But if you are interested in joining, you can text us again at that phone number, 678-460-6504. Just text me the word boot camp, and I will give you $1,000 off. So that means you'll be able to pay just for being on this show. You'll be able to pay $9.97. We do payment plans. So think about it. Less than a 4-figure investment for you to learn a skill set to be able to truly, you might be already in crypto, but you don't know what I know. I can guarantee you that. And I've been doing these boot camps, so I know a lot more now. I'm like really on a whole nother level with crypto because I've done these boot camps. In the boot camp, I've done 5 of them. It's one thing to sit at the boot camp. It's another thing to create it yourself, create all the slides, do all the research, and then go and present it 5 times and update it. Come on, y'all. It's clear as day. So $9.97 for you to join. If you all miss out, and you have literally until the end of next week, because the price that $1,000 is going away, and it will be $19.97 to join the boot camp for here on out. So the value is in the information. Remember, y'all, the people who win are the people who have the most information. Don't be the person that got a bunch of bullets and guns and don't got no information, because just like he said, none of that matters. Go ahead, John. I'm about to call on my brother, John Jackson. Come on up, man. Definitely appreciate you for being on here this morning.
Yes, sir. Amazing show, bro. Bullish content as always. Man, I'm just thankful to be alive. To be honest with you, I feel like it's perfect timing for our age bracket. If you was born in 1990, anything under 1995 and under, I feel like we're blessed because we get a chance to see it, how the market works both ways. I'm blessed to have parents that's pretty healthy, that's in their 70s. So they had a chance to, go through some storms and see some things and see how the market works and, share information with, what would happen back in the day and the same things that we're seeing tomorrow, the same things we're seeing today. It feels great to know that you can make an adjustment and have a safe landing because you are in the bed with already experienced, you know what I'm saying, people. So just to say that, with the tariffs, man, you know, it's a good and a bad thing, you know, but more so we want to bring the wealth back to America because we are, you know what I'm saying, getting taxed and bamboozled and slapped across the head and robbed, you know. I mean, even though we are the biggest bullies, but there's a lot of things we've been letting slide for decades now. And now that DJT is in office and he's cleaning up everything, you know, it's just really putting us in position financially and a few other things too. Just to say that, just to relate back onto the HBAR side of things, that's a diamond in the rough, as I would say, because you always have spoke about HBAR since day one. If you've been in our Discord group or been on the podcast for the last 3 years, that's been a diamond in our rough right there. I feel like it's very clever. I feel like it was strategized to put that play in position with TikTok. You know, that's a smart investment. And also with all the different social media platforms that's out here, TikTok is like the hottest one. So why not buy the hottest social media? So I like this strategy when it comes to buying social media networks because you have to understand what the media and what the media is all about. So the media is a market within itself. If no media, then you know, no nothing. Because if the people can't find out the information, then how are you going to find out anything? It's just like the New York Times, the AJC, you know, all these other big media companies and you know newspaper companies that put information out there. You know, I feel like that's a good move, and not only just with HBAR, it's the government council that I really enjoy looking at too because they have some major players, and they're doing a lot of things in this space. But you know, it's getting brought to the light now, which has just been there. If you can research and process and understand the actual terminology that's presented, and if you come on our shows and you know go back and do research on top of what we present, then you will have a better understanding on where we're going in the market and where we are in the market. And you will definitely start understanding these different projects that we have and that we present here over at the Coffee and Crypto Network, that we are light years ahead of a lot of networks. I feel like we're one of the baddest crypto companies in the land, you know, because we've been in this space for the last 7, 8 years, you know. It just feels amazing, man. If you're not in our group, join, please. Jump on the bandwagon now. Now is the time to invest in yourself and make a difference in your future and you know take care of your family. With that being said, I pass it back over to VO or someone else who has anything positive to say about what's going on right now in this market. But you know, don't have fear. You know, don't be afraid. You know, if you woke up today and you wake up tomorrow, there's nothing to be afraid of. So just keep on living and keep on educating yourself, gaining value from our network, and do your research and come and ask questions. Feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to Sana. It doesn't just have to be Vincent all the time. Reach out to me. I'm very, very, very deep in this space. My space is DeFi. That's my area, and that's what I cover. I'm the chief of DeFi over here at the Coffee and Crypto Network, and we're going places. DeFi is one of the biggest things as of right now. If you go into any search market, any keyword search engine, and see what DeFi is and how much it's being searched, you'll be blown away. You know, I mean, it's the new way of financial trading, and this the new way of just financial financing. Period. Uh, this is great. Let's just tap in, ask questions, reach out to us in the Discord. I'll be more than welcome to help you guys out. Whatever I don't know, we'll figure it out together.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, John. And with that being said, actually tonight, we have a call at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If y'all don't know, we have calls dang near every day in our Discord group. So we do private calls outside of this podcast. Tonight is Sip and Trade, which is my trading call. I will be going over some stuff with trading, obviously looking at the charts that we've marked up together. But I'm going to dive into my DeFi. I've been staking. I mean, like Literally, y'all, I've been anything and everything I can stake. I've been staking inside of these wallets, y'all. I'm earning yields. The market's dropping, so I don't want to get liquidated on any of my positions, but I'm gonna let it drop. I'm gonna let it drop it like it's hot. But I'm learning about DeFi and it's an even deeper dive than what DeFi used to mean to me, or what staking used to mean to me when I first started, when I used to just stake stuff on crypto.com. That was like such the base level of everything. When you start plugging into these networks, which is what we really go over inside of our boot camp now, like I set you up on week 1, you all get set up with all the proper dexes and wallets, so that when you get to week 6 with John and he takes you through that DeFi world, you can plug everything he's talking about. You already have the application set up. So guys, we like, this ain't no BS. I'm not charging y'all $1,000+ or whatever, $997 for nothing. The reviews we're getting from our boot camp is absolutely exceptional. Like it has inspired me to make the boot camp my #1 core product. So if you ask me, what is my core product for coffee and crypto? What is our core product? Our core product is the 6-week GOAT bootcamp, right? Because the same thing that I'm going to teach someone in 12 months, like the same thing I could teach someone in a 12-month span that does my full year course. Right now, for the full year of being a part of coffee and crypto and actually getting my coaching is $8,000. I charge $8,000 to work with me for the year. All right. Cool. Maybe it's expensive to you. To me, I know what my portfolio looks like. So $8,000 is nothing. If someone could, if you got money and you got money to put up, pay me $8,000 and I will plug you in with myself, John and Sana. You'll have the DeFi side, you'll have the trading side, and you'll have all the fundamentals you need to be able to win and to be able to get your portfolio the way that me, John, and Sana's portfolio looks, because I know what it's looking like. And a lot of our other students out here, right? But it all starts in either doing the full year. Now, if you can't afford $8,000 for the full year, guess what? Join us for the boot camp for $997. It's either $997 or it's $8,000. What I teach in $8,000, I teach in 6 weeks. You get all the recordings and you get that, and it's all sped up, right? So it's up to you on what you want to do. I'm gonna call on my brother Zatrick. I don't know. Oh, he took his hand down. I don't know if Zatrick still is available or if he wants to still talk. If not, then I will go to Billy next. I think Zatrick might have took his hand.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Zatrick?
My fault. I had clock in for work, but I just want to say, great episode, man. And I woke up today and it wasn't necessarily the best feeling, but I wasn't surprised just because Trump said this stuff was going to happen. And then I ran into my mom walking to work from like across. It was so random. And we had a conversation about crypto, bro. And it made me feel so happy that my mom is getting into crypto, It's like
let's go.
I'm speechless right now. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's like, and she came to me for advice too. So I'm like, Mom, like, what you trying to do? She's like, how much can we start with? I show her my phone, everything red. She's like, is this crypto? All this crypto? I said, this crypto in stocks. I'm like, if you want to start with whether 100, 200, just hop in. I do think it's a good time. And then that's when you drop that HBAR news, and I'm like, yo, I don't think this could have been more perfect timing for me to run into my mom walking across the street. Like, just walking across the street randomly. She's always here Thursday. She's like, I'm going to start bringing you lunch on Thursday. I'm always over here. I'm like, what? Like, this time that we're living in right now, do not miss this moment. That is what I want to say. Do not miss this moment, man. Everything's aligning right now. Like, I feel like this is the perfect moment. Like, and to be honest, I hope it goes down for 3 more weeks. I know it sounds selfish, but hey, I want better prices for me and my mama and my dad and my whole family. This is what it's about. This is the moments where everything is built. I'm not gonna be here forever, man. I'm not gonna be here forever. Peace.
That's right. Man, you couldn't have said it any better. Go ahead, John. You couldn't have said it any better. I'm so grateful. Yes, that your mama is joining, like that is amazing. Like, she darn near raised me. Your mama like second mama. So I appreciate it. John, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just wanted to add a little bit more value. Just on the DeFi side of things. Right now, if you want to liquidate your assets and learn about how you liquidate your assets by staking, yielding, you know, this is the time. Because right now, when you teaching you guys how to tokenize your assets on the actual blockchain. When you learn how to tokenize your assets on the blockchain, you can tap deeper into DeFi when you talk about lending and borrowing. So imagine, here's a perfect example. I'm going to make it short because I know we don't have that much time. But imagine tokenizing, let's say, your house. And then when you tokenize your house on the actual blockchain, you go in and you have a chance to borrow against your house. And then the funds and the capital that you receive against borrowing against your house, you take it and you put it in a liquidity pool. And you let your liquidity pool work for you. Or you can put it in an automated market maker and let your assets grow. So let's say if you had 100 grand, you want to pull just 100 grand and you want to put it into a liquidity pool with stable coins. Let's say a liquidity pool like Flare and RLUSD. Okay. On the Flare network, you can take your asset, that investment of 100K, within 1 year's time, you can gain anywhere between 50 to 100+% on your asset. So how does that sound? If for you to double up your asset and repay back your loan that you borrowed against your house and made a profit. And then now you take that profit and you go back and you reinvest it back into these liquidity pools or the actual different staking platforms, or just start back, lending it out or just you can lend your asset back out and get paid fees off your asset. I just wanted to put that out there just to show you a small example of what's going on in the market and where we're going in the actual market. And it's so much more. I just said, a house as of right now, but there's plenty of other different things that you can tokenize, like your vehicles, your equipment, so much more, so more different items and things that you can tokenize to actual gain upfront capital to have start working for you. We don't like for idle capital to sit, so we want our money to grow. So you have to, tap into these spaces and, take a leap of faith and join our boot camps and take our master classes so you can understand where we're going in this space. And that's all I have for you guys. Great show, Vio.
Thank you so much. Go ahead, Billy. Call on Billy now.
And hey, look, it's a TV. That's what it is. Hey, look, I'm gonna say something. DeFi is cousin Cindy. I mean, you got mom and dad and grandpa and grandma, and then you got cousins, and this transfer of wealth. We're talking about Flare, stake and Flare. John just mentioned stake and Flare, and John also mentioned the fact about taking care of your family. I mean, this is going to be a problem because we can take care of our family. I mean, you got to be really, really, really good to take care of your family and know what that looks like, because your family can just lose it in a. I mean, I got a note that said, don't mess this up. I mean, don't screenshot. I got a little notes. Don't screenshot this. Don't phone a friend. Don't get it wrong too many times. I mean, there's going to be some problems with saving all this and then turning it around to your family and them just not knowing what the hell to do. And it's going to be terrible. There needs to be, I mean, you have counseling for marriages because they mess it up. I mean, there's going to be counseling for crypto. That may be another, hey, for you, because people are going to mess it up. It's going to be crazy. But I think that it's going You know, so I think it's going to be a good thing. I did something yesterday, Vincent, I've never done. And I know this just, I was sitting at the red light with my wife and I was looking at $2.16 XRP, and today it's $1.96. And I didn't do much, but I took some XRP and I sold it and put it in my little stable coin just to sit there on my little XRP. I'm sitting on my uphold. I did some crypto.com to have a little cash on the side when it goes down to that fair value gap. What the heck is that? At what, $100.59, maybe something like that, and maybe buy it back up. I took some HBAR and I put it. I mean, I sold some HBAR yesterday. I was like, man, I just bought this HBAR. I don't want to sell it, but I did sell it just to have a little on the side to buy it back. So what John was saying about tokenization, I mean, before you get into, I mean, while you're learning, there's some things if you already hold it that you can do with it to increase your income right there, right? I mean, you can make money from just your money you already made, and then you could call on cousin Cindy to come over, Miss DeFi, and you can show her how to pop into the scene and make you another residual income. I mean, some of these things are paying, like Flare and Hashpack, and binding them with the HBM. You know, I sometimes at 63 can't tell you what I do. Like I can't teach it. It's a different level to be able to teach it. But at 63, I think I know what I'm doing. Yeah, and it may die with me, Vincent, because I don't know for sure if I know how to send it to everybody. I mean, how do you? What do you? I mean, what can you? Insurance. I mean, what do you do? It's so much you can spend. We were talking last night on this chat, Nasu and I, and it was like, what do you do when you don't know what to do? I mean, you can't. When you search salt, I saw salt and pepper. I saw salt and chicken. I saw lemon pepper salt. I mean, you had to scroll to find the salt that you were looking for. You can't hardly scroll anything in DeFi and find what you're looking for because they don't know what it is. You can't find it on the internet. There's so much stuff. Having a platform like this that already has it. Now I do a lot of screenshots with it, and I go back and watch some of this. But I have to because I don't get it the first time. We were talking to um I can't think Miss Celestia or somebody on the phone last night. She said, Natsu, you just tell me one time, I get it. And I'm thinking, oh golly, Natsu's told me 44 times what to do, and I still don't get it because it just takes it's hard to get it. So we show up at this call every day. Every time it comes on because we need that extra encouragement, extra knowledge and stuff. So I've had a coffee from the bank this morning, so I'm sorry I'm chit chat, but I picked up on a lot of good stuff, and I just want to share it with somebody who needs to hear it because it's too much to learn in too short a time, and there's so many facets with it. It's like a shrimp boil, baby. You got all kind of. Somebody asked me yesterday, Vincent. They said, "How much are your crawfish?" I said, It's just like your." I was talking to a painter. He's a high dollar painter. I said, "It's just like your painting business. When you get them, they're going to be fantastic. You're not going to get them till I like them. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to get a lot of little interesting things in your bowl that you didn't ask for, and you're going to pay for it because it's that damn good." And I'm not going to be the cheapest guy, but you're gonna like what you get. I'm gonna make damn sure of it, and that's what you're doing. You're providing content for us to get, whether we take it or share it or use it. I mean, you don't have to drink the water. You can't. You might could lead me to it. I have to participate. I mean, you got to participate in this stuff. You can't just get it a little bit of the Bible verse here and there. You got to study it because you're not just going to get it the first time. So keep showing up. I appreciate you. This is what this would be, Crawbilly Big Beat Boy Bawana Babyface Boom Boom Beard and TV, y'all. Y'all come back now, you hear? Oh, golly. That's too much for me.
I love when Billy say, golly. Golly. Oh, man. All right, y'all. Well, I'm done here. I'm about to go to the gym. Y'all have an amazing day. Again, if y'all want to join the boot camp, I think that this might be the last boot camp that you can join before we take off. It'd probably be worth it. If I were to warn y'all about anything, if you haven't taken the boot camp yet and you worried about spending a little $997 because you worried about not having it, then you might as well just not even worry about crypto, because without the proper education, without the proper advice, without the proper information, without the proper knowledge, you'll probably lose it all anyway. All because you didn't take the opportunity to make sure that you understood this stuff the way that I know I understand this stuff and the way that I know my team understands it. So y'all have an amazing day. Y'all can text me at 678-460-6504. And I will see y'all on the next episode next week. And for my Discord group, I'll see y'all tonight.